I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues.
Hey, I heard that. It wasn't me.
That's
this time.
Grandma's.
That's my grandma's stomach gurgle right there.
And today, we need like bells. Ching, ching, ching.
I have no bells in this
Where's
house. Wait,
no bells? He's
He's a
I actually have one.
No
He's got a
I have-
Nobel Prize.
I have a
you
door.
get the Nobel Prize for the day.
I have a doorbell actually.
You do love science. You got the Nobel Prize
amazing.
today. You have the doorbell prize.
I have the doorbell.
That's the
prize.
only.
Yeah,
only
it's the only
bell.
bell I've got in this house.
It's adorable.
Thanks,
Wow.
Will.
It's adorning his home.
Today is a good day for no bells.
What? What?
Somebody will get that joke.
I know I didn't. Will, did you get that joke?
I mean, a bunch of dark stuff popped into my head, so no, we're not going to say it.
Yeah, because we can't be talking about dark things. We're going to talk about Christmas.
I almost said that at the same
Yay.
time. I'm like, I don't know where he's going to go with that, so I'm just going to just let him.
'Tis the season.
The
To be jolly.
holidays.
Fa la 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 la. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Deep down, this is really hard. Patrick's asleep. This is another early morning recording.
Yeah,
And
after a
I had to
really
ask him
late
if his
night.
eyes were open a little bit ago, and he said, yes, they are open.
It didn't look like it.
I'm a little more awake
But,
now.
you know, so our desk, well, you don't do decorations. I was going to say decorations are up. People are buying their gifts last minute. Because this actually will release like, what, a couple days before Christmas?
Sure.
It's like the week of Christmas.
I'd have to look.
So,
Yeah.
so people, if you're not totally busy right now and you still have time for us, thanks for listening to the Christmas special.
Yay.
Yeah.
At least we didn't release our first issue on Christmas.
Because it was a downer.
I can't remember who, but I was watching somebody on YouTube, and they decided to make their very first video and post it on Christmas. And their very first comment was, "What loser posts their first video on YouTube on Christmas Day?"
I mean,
He's
you can
like
schedule
me.
those things.
Wow. What a cruel comment. Was it you? Did you leave it?
No, no, I would have been like 9 when they posted that. So
Will
Please.
definitely made the naughty list.
Yeah.
Why do you keep bringing up how young you are today?
I gotta rub it in.
That's very disappointing.
Okay,
Like the
Jabba, calm
eraser.
down.
No. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about something more specific than our general banter or food. Actually, food might get brought up. I bet it will get brought up.
Oh yeah, we're kind of on a roll with food.
Yeah. Jeez.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Speaking of
jeez.
rolls,
What? Yeah, it's my turn to be Structure Steve. Get
No.
this back on track.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, you're about to tell us your Christmas traditions. That's what we're going to talk about. Not the whole time. We have a special discussion after our special discussion.
So many special discussions.
Yeah, but we're in the holiday spirit,
So
except we
little
were
time.
supposed to have holiday-themed drinks, and none of them panned out. So we're just sitting here like it's another day.
With our sweatshirts on.
This is true. We all are wearing, we are cold.
'Tis
So-
the season.
It truly is. Oh, anyway. Rick,
Yeah, what's up?
Patrick,
Yeah.
Do you have any holiday traditions?
We have
Like Christmas
we have
traditions,
a
stuff you guys
a
do?
holiday Christmas tradition.
What do you do?
Well, we all get together in this big circle with the whole family
When you say whole family, like your brothers and sisters and their families and like
Right.
the whole shebang.
on Christmas Eve
Okay.
and have a nice party.
Hey, move your mic over just a little. Thanks.
And
Oh, that's better.
is it
Yeah.
okay?
I'm trying to save myself work later.
I mean, I appreciate that.
I do too.
And we sing the 12 Days of Christmas,
Oh, nice.
but we act out every part.
No, you don't.
We
Shut up.
That sounds like
I-
something you would
I can't
definitely do.
It gets hectic near the end.
because do you try to go fast?
Uh-huh.
Do you have enough people to do it?
Yeah, we have plenty of people.
Does each person get like assigned a specific part?
Yes.
Okay.
So 12 people, 12 Days of Christmas.
That's amazing.
Gets picked randomly every year.
Do you have a favorite one?
Well,
Is it geese?
that one is the funniest one,
Yeah.
and it's not my favorite one.
What's your favorite one?
'Cause there's lots
ring.
of squats involved with that one.
Yeah. So wait, there's like a specific choreography.
Yeah, like you get up and you do a thing.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, is this videotaped? Folks,
There might
we
be.
might
It's
have.
gonna be Will and I
there
are
may
gonna
be a
be
video.
standing at a window with sneaking footage for the social media.
No, you're not.
Pat's gonna be paranoid this year. His family's like, why do you
He's
keep
gonna
looking
be
out the
pulling. He
windows?
pulls all the curtains. They're like, Pat, it's a beautiful Christmas morning.
He's like-
Stop! And he's like, no, shut the curtain. Anyways, I'm
But yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's the thing.
So that is what, do you guys exchange gifts on Christmas Eve and stuff
Yeah.
too? Or like, is that when you do so that is your family Christmas?
That's the family Christmas.
And then everybody does their own like single unit whatevers the next day.
right.
Okay. Cool. Do you do anything then on Christmas? Like if you're this is the first year where you just have your own place.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna head over to my parents' house.
Hang out with them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. But nice. That's a fun tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately, that is
Yeah.
fun. I like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, all of my in-laws are like, you should have seen it the first time. They're like, I didn't even know what these people were doing.
That's one of those like, okay, here's your real initiation.
Right.
I love that.
I don't know of anybody who's been like, this is too weird. I'm out.
I feel like that can't be nearly as weird as some Christmas traditions.
Probably not.
Not even close.
But it is a lot
So
of fun.
hang on, wait. I kind of may have zoned out for a second. What was your favorite?
Yeah,
Roll.
you never actually said which role your favorite is.
Well, usually my favorite is the one with the least amount of movement because I'm lazy.
What is that, like the partridge in a pear tree?
That one doesn't have a lot of movement.
Like you just kind of stand there.
No.
I thought it'd be one of the golden
Lords
rings.
of Leaping would be a
Yeah, that's
one.
you know,
No,
mhm.
no,
That's a lot of
should-
leaping.
This year, if you get one of the golden rings,
No,
You
that
get,
one.
like-
That one's actually reserved for somebody.
Really?
Yeah, that one specifically is reserved.
Every year?
dang it,
Oh.
because then you need to
So
like
the same person does that every year?
Yeah.
beat them up and steal it.
I'm
And
not
then
going to
get
beat
hang
up my
on.
niece.
Well, then she's easy to take, okay?
I mean, she would be,
Wow.
But
but I'm not doing it.
then you make it the one ring from Lord of the Rings and be like, I'm here to rule you all.
But there's supposed to be 5 of them.
5 rings for Patrick's clan.
So wait, how in depth does
7
this
to the
production go?
dwarf lords.
Do you have costumes?
We don't have costumes. No.
Do you have a director? Like,
No.
Do you
It's
guys
chaos.
Do you guys play it or do you sing it?
Yes. I usually put up a karaoke thing and then we sing it.
Does
While this is
anybody
going
does one of you get like really toasted and be like on the first
No,
day?
There's no alcohol.
Oh. Because it's safer that way with
Well,
that
maybe, but
chaos.
there's just really no.
Your family's not big drinkers?
No.
Yeah, mine either.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't believe you, Will. I don't believe you.
Well, certain parts of mine, when I say that, I mean not my parents. It's just anybody else would, but my parents do not. Anyway,
Yeah, honestly, like I'm probably the biggest drinker. Well, me and my brother. But
You're
like
not even that tall.
yeah, I'm a tall drink. No, but
to a glass of water.
my family likes to dabble in different drinks. So like my mom has this China Hutch, and the
I
bottom of it,
dribble in different drinks.
yeah, that's weird. But the bottom of her China Hutch is just packed full of all kinds of booze. Some of it she inherited from her dad. when she got
World
the house.
War One.
Oh yeah. They have
like,
all
there's-
that stuff down there.
Gallons
That's
of
fun.
hard alcohol in there.
Yeah, it all froze. It's hard.
Right.
Leah joke.
Okay.
It's hardly a
I
joke.
I got it now. I'm not firing on all cylinders today, so
Oh, I just thought you thought it was that bad. That one,
I'm like, what is he talking about?
he is so tired. He had a late night. So, Will, Disruptor.
So speaking of rolls, one ooh, nice catch, Pat.
Well,
you guys
thank
didn't
you.
see that, but he
Oh
just
man,
all of a sudden
dropped
all of
something
the
expensive
pistons
and he
fired
grabbed-
at once.
he
and the engine stalled.
Anyway, a long time ago. So my dad's birthday is on Christmas.
That's
Just to-
right.
Just
That's
to
right.
oust
I
his
know
birthday.
so many people whose birthdays on Christmas.
And so growing up,
It's bad enough.
It was
having a
hard.
December birthday.
yeah, it was hard for him because then, they kind of really didn't do anything for his birthday. But his mom started the tradition of making him like a pineapple roll.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, speaking of rolls, she's passed away. I think I talked about that on the Hellblazer
Yeah. Yep.
issue, and my mom kind of picked it up because she learned the recipe.
And she's
And
an
she-
excellent baker.
Yeah, so she has continued that tradition of my dad getting his pineapple roll, and she makes 2. And recently she switched one up to be like a cherry, I think.
How's that?
They're both
Pretty
really
good.
good.
Yeah. Well, anything your mom makes is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. And then in recent years, we've switched it up. Instead of just like buying a little something for everybody, we do a secret Santa. We draw a name
Yes,
out.
you do.
We draw a name, and everybody just comes up with a list of 2 or 3 things that might be a little bit higher priced. We set like a cap, and then we just get that one thing for them, and we might get like everybody else something smaller. We see something throughout the years, like, oh hey, that could be a Christmas thing, or
That's cool.
whatever, put in their stocking. My mom and dad, whatever reason, my mom knitted stockings. Well, some of them were knitted by my grandmother, but we've had a few new additions to the family, so my mom's had to knit them their own little stockings, and she likes to pack it full of like candy and just like
Stocking stuffers.
stocking stuffer stuff.
Yeah.
And
Stuff or stuff.
yeah,
Stocking stuffer stuff.
seems to be like what people are into most. But and then we do a white elephant. So it's like a
Okay.
game where my mom is the only one that really knows what the presents are. So it's just like random shaped objects, and we usually make very inappropriate jokes about the shapes of some of them because nobody actually knows like what these things are, and so we're all trying to guess. Like one year is like toilet paper and a plunger and a skillet and one of those like long things you put underneath a door to stop like the breeze from going. But like it was just this long thing. It would Anyway,
He was motioning with his arms.
yeah. We're just gonna keep going. Sometimes it's a game where it's like trade one gift with like somebody with glasses, or you just have all these different cards you pull that have different conditions. Like, oh, you get you're safe. You don't have to trade. Somebody has to trade with you. You trade with others. And then last year's was actually White Elephant Bingo.
Nice.
So, you had like 2 or 3 cards. You play bingo. If you got one, you could pick a gift.
As
And to all
lucky
the-
as I am with bingo, I would never get a gift.
Dude, I was so bad. My one sister would just like kept getting it. I think she laughed me like 2 or 3 times
Man,
before. But after all the gifts were gone, we played a few more rounds, and like if you got it, you could
Could
trade.
steal other
You could
people.
steal and swap, and
that's fun.
this year I think yeah, I don't know. We talked about just doing the white elephant,
Not doing the full exchange.
not doing the full exchange, but everybody just pitch in. We go hard into that
Right.
because my mom's like, your dad and I, we can't think of anything we need. The girls can't either. Your brother's gone. Just like not like we're at that point
I
now
know
in
how
our
it
lives
goes.
where it's like if we need something, we just buy it or make it or do whatever we
Right.
we just
Yeah.
acquire the thing. So it's so hard to come up with anything where it's like, let's just buy a bunch of random stuff and we'll just have a fun day playing the white elephant because anymore it's what we really enjoy. And then we're going to keep doing the stockings. And of course, we're going to buy stuff for the kids,
Well, yeah.
Like,
now
they're
that
just
there's
gonna-
some grandkids involved, that's
Yeah.
who really gets the
So,
gifts.
yeah.
Like, that's what it's.
Yep.
And one of them's now old enough that, she just like tear into stuff and she loves opening presents. And like every time, even if it's not nobody's birthday, she's like, is there any gifts? Like, does anybody need
I
anything
get
opened
to
up?
Tear it open.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mm.
Do you guys get together on Christmas or do it a different
Yeah.
day?
Yeah. We've been talking about doing it a different day, but we celebrate my dad's birthday Christmas Eve. So we always get together Christmas Eve for his birthday.
You stay overnight then, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. But sometimes my brother has other places to go on Christmas, so we talk about maybe doing it like the day after. But I think this year we are getting together on Christmas,
That's good.
Cool.
That's
and then we always have like a nice Christmas dinner.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
I have no
Ham.
doubt that your family eats a
Ham.
very good Christmas dinner.
The best part about it is the ham gravy. I have to say that ham gravy is way better than turkey
Like
gravy.
with drippings, you mean like ham
Yeah.
drippings? Oh, I could see that. I bet that's really good.
No, ham gravy.
Huh?
So no, I want ham gravy.
I thought you were going to say you were going to go ham on that gravy.
I would go ham on that ham gravy.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris, what are your
Well,
Christmas traditions?
so we have several, and they've been building on each other kind of over the years. My family, for years and years, I have a much older sister, and so she has a family of her own. And when she lived in the area, and we were all a bit younger, we would always do Christmas Eve at her house, or like typically it was at her house, and we would all get together and see my nephews and niece and everybody. And but my family, we still do that, even though they don't live in the area anymore. My parents oftentimes come to my house now, and we've had my sister and her family over, my younger sister and her family over, and so that's always been a thing. And we do like a whole Mexican food dinner. Like my dad makes traditional enchiladas, and my mom makes like burrito casserole, and we make tacos, and we do like this, and we buy like. We usually get like chips and salsa from Hacienda because that's good stuff, and or I get salsa from like one of the local Mexican places, but I still like Hacienda chips, so we usually have that, and everybody gets together. And my wife has added in. This is not always on Christmas Eve. This is sometimes on Christmas Eve. Sometimes it's earlier in that week. Or the day before Christmas Eve, so like the 23rd, the evening of the 23rd, we do Christmas cookie decorating.
Oh yeah.
And that's become a big thing. That's a tradition in our family. My wife has started that because we had some really great friends that invited us to be a part of their family tradition one year, and they have several children, and it's a big cookie decorating thing. And I was the rogue that started to envision cookies looking like other things. Like I think that year, the first year where I had taken like a bell and turned it sideways and made it into like a bow and arrow and like
Oh.
things like that.
Nice.
And last year, I made this incredible Mandalorian cookie.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Did I show you? I'll have to find it. But I took like cookies and I broke a few pieces and I rearranged them, and it had like the body of a ginger man cut out, and like the helmet was like an upside down crown, and like all this stuff. And I assembled the Mandalorian. And
That's
everybody thought it was like the coolest cookie they'd ever seen. But I felt good about it. It took me to make this creation. It took me like the whole time though. Like everybody else is like pumping out different kinds of cookies and characters and all this, and I made the Mandalorian. So
Nice.
but so we do cookie decorating. Like I said, sometimes it can fall on Christmas Eve. Usually it's a day or two before that, so it's not like stacking multiple things. My parents also attend like a Christmas Eve church service. We do on occasion, and so they usually have to go to that anyway. So they do that. My wife has a tradition that's from her family that she has carried on to ours, where she will pick up a pajama set, like a set of like Christmas pajamas for each person in the family, like the four of us, and that's what you wear that night then, and then the next day, you get up, you have your Christmas pajamas on. So we open our Christmas pajamas every year. Last year she got matching ones for her and my daughter and me and my son, so
Oh, that's fun.
it was cute. He looked miniature me, man. He was super
100%.
cute. And then Christmas morning, we generally open our gifts, just normal stuff, like for our family. And then we either go to my parents' house. Sometimes they've come to ours, depending. But my sister and parents and different people will all get together for a bit in the morning. My mom usually makes like a breakfast, and we hang out for a while. And then in the evening, we used to do this, and we still do occasionally. We have a Christmas dinner that's usually like a roast or something with my aunt and uncle and my grandpa before he passed. He was always a part of that. And that used to be my original family tradition when I was young, which was awesome. Not being young, but the tradition. My mom is one of 7, so like my extended family is huge. It's massive. And so Christmas evening, that dinner used to be everybody. That used to literally be our entire extended family would meet at my aunt and uncle's house, and with my grandma and grandpa and everybody. And I mean, it was like chaos. You want to talk about chaos. That was one of my fondest memories. And some of my cousins and I have started talking about trying to bring back some of those kind of bigger family traditions that we've lost. So hopefully, maybe not this year, maybe like next year or something. Maybe it'll grow, but we still do that Christmas dinner sometimes. It's just a lot smaller now. So, but yeah, so we do a lot for Christmas, like
Nice.
like from like the 23rd to Christmas evening. Dude, like my schedule is usually like packed full. But yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of time with people.
Right.
But it's
I
good
think
to
it's
be
kind of the point of the
right,
holidays.
about the holidays.
But you mentioned Christmas pajamas, and that sparked a story. I'm pretty sure I've told you before,
Okay.
but I have to tell it on this podcast. Just to not necessarily shame my mom, but just to bring to light her devious nature so you understand where I get it from.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
So we were little, growing up. Christmas time comes around. They'd put some presents under the tree, and we'd be like, oh, hey, maybe it'd be nice and let us open up a gift early. She'd be like, nope. Always would make us wait. And whenever we would do gifts as kids, it would be like, we would go from youngest to oldest,
Sure.
and everybody would take their turn, teach us patience or make sure everybody gets their chance to whatever. And So years of this go by, and then she start teasing us about it. Like, hey, you want to open up a gift early? We'd be like, yeah. She'd be like, well, too bad. I'm like, oh, it's kind of mean, but okay, whatever. And this all makes sense by the end, sort of.
Right.
I
And
believe you.
so
Keep going.
one year, she does it, right? She's like, hey, you got all these gifts. And she looks at my brother, right, who's
the youngest. He's the youngest.
5 maybe at this point in time. And she's like, hey, Kurt, you want to open up a gift early? And the rest of us kids are there like, we're going to bed. We know this story. We're trained. We know you're full of crap. And he's like still young. He's still pretty new to the game.
Sure.
He's not used to my mom's antics yet. And he's like, yeah, I want to open a gift early. And she reaches over, picks one up, and hands it to him. And she's like, the looks on your guys' faces when I did that was absolutely priceless. Because he got to open up one. It was pajamas. And she's like, hey, here you guys go. And we all got Christmas pajamas that year. We're like, oh my gosh, she gave us a gift early. But yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Also,
I'm like, that
it was that moment. That was the canon moment that made your brother who he is today.
I know. She confessed she planned it with him.
Canon event.
Yeah, she told him earlier in the day because he hadn't been at school yet. She's like, hey, later this evening, maybe if you ask me nicely, or like when I ask you, yeah, I'll let you
your
open up
mom,
a gift.
dude. I love
like,
your mom.
This psychological scar, it took years for her to set this up. Because I was like 10 at the time.
Amazing.
And so all of my life, my sisters were older, or are older. And so we're all conditioned. We're like, yeah, whatever. And then it happened.
And then it happened.
And your worlds were shattered.
Yeah, it was never the same.
And
I love how your mom
is
plays
when
the long
Will
game.
became the villain.
Yeah, it's like
The Disruptor.
sometimes you just got to play it nice and
Man.
slow.
We have a backstory for the Disruptor.
We do.
Yep, there you
Nice.
go. My Christmas.
Christmas pajamas.
Yeah.
story.
That's awesome.
Wow. Good job.
I love telling
buddy.
this to people.
It
so
really
that-
does sound like something I would do, to be 100%
Dude,
honest.
that's like some setup. I'd have.
That is commitment.
Right.
She was committed.
You got to commit to a bit. I'm telling you.
Oh, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
so good. I'm a little late. Maybe I do need a third child.
It's not too late to ruin someone's life. No. It's just
Because then,
we
like,
tease
Cora,
her about it all the time.
Cora would be, by the time, if we had a baby now, dude, she'd be like 16 or
Yeah.
17. I'd have years to, like,
Years.
do something. And then
And they won't listen to this podcast.
they
You're
just-
fine.
No, nah.
Absolutely not.
But actually, Cora does like when I have it on in the van if I'm listening for edits and stuff. She's like, I like your podcast. And Theo sings along with the theme song.
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
literally
I
goes,
remember
like it's hilarious.
Because he switched it up that one time.
And he
Yeah,
didn't like it.
when we did the crossover
He was
months back
disappointed.
with the Call Guys for Blue Beetle, and their intro went, and then it played theirs. He lost his mind. He was like, "No, I want the song." He was pretty funny, but yeah.
Anyway,
That's
transitioning.
fun. That's fun.
That is
those are
fun.
fun transitions.
Ah.
Traditions. You
Yeah.
said transitioning, and I tried to say the word traditions in my brain. Couldn't do it. But yeah, those are fun traditions. So if you have a fun or unique Christmas tradition that you want to share with us here at Guys with Issues, email us at longbox@guyswithissues.com.
Or
And
if you
don't have
a-
to, Heather, because I know you want to maintain your #1 emailer status, but we heard your tradition already, okay? So unless it's your family tradition, your direct one,
Oh.
because yours just...
Oh, she has one.
Oh, okay. Well,
No.
who's gonna?
If she wants
Here's
to.
the question:
Yeah.
It's a
Who's gonna
race.
send? Who's gonna send the email first?
I don't know.
Chris or Heather?
To be honest, I don't even know if they. I'm pretty sure they still do it.
Well,
Well, Christoph could have his own story.
He might
'Cause
from his
he's-
childhood.
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you right now, because of this discussion, they will both send one. The question is,
Who's
who
gonna get
will
it
be
first?
first? I'm gonna say Christoph because he listens early.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Christoph. He's gonna get it in first.
probably. Anyway,
The
Well, you know
rivalry
them
that
better
we
than I
just
do, so.
love.
right.
Oh, well, that's a great rivalry.
That
You
we
guys make
sparked.
us feel special. So for the remainder of this issue, this special Christmas edition of Guys with Issues, we did some lists, some Christmas lists. Yeah. Woo. Patrick had no response because he's digging a tear out of his eye from joy, Christmas joy.
Right, Christmas joy tears.
But we thought it would be fun to look back because this is a fun fact.
Yeah.
If you don't go by our issue numbers and you count our specials and do all this stuff, this is episode 26. So we're halfway. We've made it halfway through a year. How crazy is that?
Hot diggity.
Hot dog, diggity dog. Anyway, I think that's from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Anyway,
It might be.
I think it is.
I have literally no clue.
So, but yeah, this is our halfway point. We may talk a little bit more about that in our next issue, next recording. But yeah, so thanks for sticking with us. If you've been here since the beginning, and if you haven't, if you're just joining in recently, thanks for jumping on this zany journey.
Zany is
Zany
the correct
is
word.
the right
It
word.
really is.
There've been many interesting things so far, and much more to come.
Much more.
Much more. We have plans.
All the zany things.
Will's just eye darting around the room.
He's trying to figure out a way to disrupt this.
He is. He
How do I throw this up?
How do
So,
I toss a
but the
wrench
list,
into
we
this?
decided to channel our inner Saint Nick and make some naughty and nice lists. And before you think, well, what does that mean? We decided to look back at the episodes we've released so far and decide who are our top 5 naughtiest characters, and that being villains. So I know some of you might have immediately thought of perhaps Catwoman or somebody. And so we have a top 5 naughty list, top 5 nice list for heroes. But that is just going over what we've already done. We're not looking beyond the podcast. This is for the last 6 months of this new journey that we've been on, checking things out. And we thought it would be fun for Christmas to do naughty and nice lists. Top 5 bad guys, top 5 heroes. And we are going to start with naughty. Is that what we want to do?
I think
top,
so.
Top 5 naughty?
No.
So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Naughty, and we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 nice. So it'll be a top 10 list technically, with the first 5 being the bad guys and the second 5 being the good ones. So anyway, in our traditional fashion, Patrick, would you like to begin? What is your number 5 naughtiest bad guy?
I mean,
Oh, I struggled with this, by the way. Did anybody else think this was
Yes.
actually really hard?
I blanked out for
did.
so long.
So I didn't blank out, but there was a point where I was like, oh, okay, before I share my list, I do have to tell you. Because we discussed that we actually had we made sure to pre-plan this. We wanted to know we were all on the same page, doing the same things. But I imposed a rule upon myself because some of the things we read had heroes that were in my top 3 favorite heroes list from our issue 0.
right.
So I tried to avoid actually incorporating my personal already I really liked this stuff, but that was just for me because I tried to take into account more of like what the experience has been reading some of the stuff along with you guys. So I want you to know now, I did not put Batman on my list or he would have been number 1. So I self-imposed this rule. This was not a rule for the rest of us, but it is my own personal. I tried to. There are actually no Turtles or Batman on my list. So for any of you who are guessing what we chose, I wanted to put that out there. I took them out.
Cool.
Anyway,
Cool.
Number
All right.
5.
So I have something written down, but I'm not actually going to say it. I'm going to say something else
Ooh,
because
he's throwing an audible on his very
Yeah.
first one.
while we may have read a story about this specific character, I firmly believe that he ended up being the villain of the story. So I'm going to say Azrael as the first villain that I bring up.
He was in Knight's End.
Right?
He was the villain. Batman had to fight him,
Right.
or Bruce Wayne had to fight him. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, technically, they
As
battled
Bat-
over the.
They were both. They were both
cowl.
Batman at the time. That's true. The Battle for the Cowl, the first one.
I'm telling you.
Azrael.
I had to put him in there.
Didn't even think about him.
Nope.
I'm actually shocked.
Spoilers, I did.
Oh, I know you did.
I'm gonna guess number 1. He has to be. Anyway, don't spoil.
Don't spoil
But I'm
anything.
gonna guess he's Will's number 1 because he didn't dislike anybody more. Oh, that's a good one.
He had to be on my villain list because
You said that, is that the audible or is that what you wrote or what?
no, that's not what I wrote. That's the one that I changed it to.
Literally.
So is the other
live on the
person-
podcast?
Not gonna make the list at all.
Correct.
So who was the other person?
It was the I can't. Part of the reason why they're not going to make the list because I can't actually remember the name of the organization. But it was the church and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
of Universal Faith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, they were interesting villains because
They
they could
were.
be like, I believe, and then like do stuff and like
Yeah.
cancel people's powers and stuff.
right. Yeah,
That's true.
I liked it.
They were good.
I did.
That
I
was
did,
it.
but
Oh,
I had to
that was
knock 'em
another
off the
one.
list.
I didn't think about them either. Shoot.
Yeah,
This is fun. I like this. We don't do things like this very often.
yeah, I had to knock him off the list because
Azrael definitely, though, is a better one to make the list.
Yep.
I will say that.
Yep.
So, Will, who's your number 5?
My number 5 is.
Number 5.
Number 5.
It's like a clip show now almost.
I know. We'll have to do it when it's 4. We just want to.
No. Is the devil from Hellblazer.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
He was a good villain.
He was
He
pretty
was.
good. He was also kind of an idiot. Okay.
Sure.
Got tricked by an alcoholic twice.
Right, but the alcoholic was the
John Constantine.
John Constantine,
The con man of all con.
the main character of that story.
Protagonist,
So
yeah.
protagonist. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I did consider him. I considered the
yeah.
devil as well.
yeah. Me
devil-
too.
He was another one so that was one thing looking back is I was like, what ones immediately popped to mind? Because those are the ones then I'm like, okay, they stand out. Maybe they should make the list.
Yeah.
So anyway, my number 5, I picked the trench from Aquaman.
Oh,
I
the
thought
Trench
about
from
them.
Aquaman.
I was like,
a good
I
one.
liked the intensity of like that kind of horror feel for Aquaman and like when they would like climb up when they came on the boat and all that. And I was like, that was a fun kind of start to that series. I thought that was a neat way to begin. And so I picked the trench. I don't think that they have like a great arc or something, but they were definitely an interesting villain that ended up being a big problem. Mm-hmm. So
Awesome.
yeah. Number 4, right?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, we'll all do it each time.
I have Bane as number 4.
I knew he would make your list. I
Yeah.
didn't
He
know
was so
where,
good.
but I knew he would be on your list. The smart big bad guy.
Smart big bad guy.
Yeah,
he's
that's a good one.
No, I really did like Bane.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
He looked like he
Yes.
didn't have anything else to add because we all
Yeah.
know. I have a feeling Bane may show up on some other lists as well. We'll see.
Yeah, probably. But I actually picked a couple for my naughty list that I thought were just bad guys. Like they weren't necessarily my
So, like,
favorites,
they
but they
weren't-
stood out as this is just like
A
kind of
bad
an
dude.
annoying character.
So
that
a
is, like,
badly written bad guy, or
badly written, but for whatever reason they have like their
Interesting.
plot line. And so my number 4 is I can never say it, Abator from
the
I
Avatar.
hate that guy.
It's like they literally drove a nail in me so hard that I can't forget about them.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, the family
It's-
serial
yeah.
killer.
Yeah. Who is killed by Osriel.
Yep.
Good
Yeah, he
old-
fell in
kinda-
the vat, the
that
molten.
Sparks that whole end there.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, we have a discussion back in issue 12. That's where we talk about it because that's where he dies. And we talk about why even though, because he was my least favorite character, I think, for that episode. I think I said, I think I chose him for my least favorite.
Right.
But the thing is we all agreed that for an antagonist for Azrael, he worked really well, though. And
Yeah,
so that was, good choice. My number 4 is Karn from Edge of the Spider-Verse. The hunter of Spider-Man. The dive helmet dude.
I am telling you what, I could not remember the villain in Edge of the Spider-Verse. I could not.
I was making my list, and I was looking back at our list of what we'd done, and I was like, oh, I got to put him on because there's something compelling about him, especially once we learned about his, like, ostracism and all of that stuff. Like, I was like, he's a scary bad guy, and I want to know how they stop him. Did you end up reading the whole thing?
Not the whole thing.
Okay.
I read several more chapters, but
I got to read it. I want to. But yeah, Karn.
Yeah.
So, number 3.
number 3.
Number 3 on my list,
I like that.
with shocking no one, is Q.
I immediately said I'm definitely not putting him on my.
Because he's such a great bad guy.
Yeah, that's what you say. I'm just kidding. No, I wondered if he would make your list. I'm almost surprised he's only 3.
Well, you know. I
I'm
got 2
curious to
more.
know who's 1 and 2 now.
I'm guessing you're going to find out.
But yeah, Q's a good one.
Yeah.
And he created a really complex problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he does that. That's
usually his shtick,
That's
right?
his shtick, yeah.
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 No.
Everybody has their shtick. But my number 3 would have to be, and I hope I remember this correctly, but the posse from Blue Beetle.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
These are another
'Cause you
one that's
hated
like
them.
that annoyed me. I picked 2, by the way. They're people that groups or individuals that kind of annoyed me to the point where I would remember them.
Were they a villain?
They were
mean-
antagonistic in the beginning. They
Okay.
Yeah.
were.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah. They approached like they weren't, but they seemed antagonistic for like. Do they end as villains? Because I did read much more of that series. No, but do they kind of start as antagonists? Yes, I would definitely say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wow, your list is really throwing me for loops, man.
that was my goal.
Not like I can say anything. I put a
my-
hero on my list. So.
My number 3
Put a euro.
Right.
is Gunhawk and Bunny.
Nice.
they-
Gunhog and Bunny.
So for my number 5, I was back and forth between the Devil and Gunhawk.
Dude,
I'm like, this is a really weird internal dialogue I'm having right now. Who's the worst person for my number 5?
I loved Gunhawk and Bunny, and I'd read a whole series of them. Man, they're good, just like mercs for hire, hitmen, and that was a fun story. And they are just cool characters. So it's not that I didn't pick something like I wasn't opposed to picking characters from our Batman reading, but I didn't want to pick like Batman himself or something like that. That's why I imposed that rule. Most of the rule goes on my good guy list, but yeah, Gunhawk and Bunny, really, really liked them. Written by Chuck Dixon, which Will has to tee at every time I say it.
Internalized it this time.
Yeah, he doesn't go by Charles. Maybe I'll just call him Charles Dixon. But anyway, yeah.
It's almost like Charles Dickinson.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's why he doesn't go by it. He's like, I don't want people to think I'm that.
That's possible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 2.
Number 2 on my list
Number 2.
is the Joker from the movie arc.
I wondered if you would put him on there.
I really
It's
enjoyed
such
that.
a good
It's
thing.
such. Yeah.
He's one that I intentionally left off. He is, because I was like, that was like the best part of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, But if I'm not gonna let myself put Batman, I'm not gonna put the Joker. It was just my own thing. I was hoping somebody would bring it up.
Yep, I did. It was so
It was
good.
so good.
So good.
He's a hack. That's not even the real Batman.
Yep.
I wonder if she ever got paid.
My guess is probably not.
Oh, yeah, good choice. Good choice. He was a great villain.
He really
Good
was.
naughty list. Solid.
Thanks.
My number 2 is the Trigger Twins.
Yeah. I knew
And
that
you
was on
picked
your
number
list.
2.
I did.
I knew that was going to be on your list.
Oh, I genuinely debate. Like, I thought about this and was like, I wonder if they'll be Will's number 1.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It was probably
I love
close.
that you put them on 2 because they're the twins. Good choice.
Mhm, You're
Yep.
welcome.
Oh,
They're just a fun duo that just kind of like they're twins that randomly found each other,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that's weird, but I love it.
Yep.
And they're cowboys.
And the Cowboys, and they're like, "Hey, let's go rob a train."
Let's go rob a train
They've
in
known
Gotham
each other.
City.
They've known each other for like 3 days, and they're like, "You want to go just go rob a train together?" Yeah, let's go, buddy. We're like the same person.
Oh, it's interesting in life when you meet somebody like that where you're like, we're the same. You're like, don't know if that's ever that your face went. Have I ever met somebody like
That'd be a weird day.
So now I'm disappointed I didn't have Gunhawk and Bunny as my number 2
Yeah,
because we would have
right.
all had a Night Quest villain.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Well,
Let
what
me
is your
s-
number
let me
2?
switch it. Hal Jordan as Parallax.
Nice.
Oh,
'Cause
there you go. I wondered if he was going to make the list.
Technically, he's a hero, but this is his turn to villain. This is his heel turn, like the professional wrestling turned heel. So I had to put him on the list.
Well, yeah.
I was like, dude, he's one of my favorite big bads when he's a bad. So yeah, Hal Jordan as Parallax from Emerald Twilight. Yep,
Cool. Very cool.
number 1 on the naughty list.
Number 1.
Son.
So, my number 1
Ooh.
on my naughty list.
I almost want to. Should we try to guess?
Yeah, I think we should guess.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. Who would your number 1 be? You said Joker and Q were 2 and 3. What would you have put?
Nick. Oh, Nick wasn't a villain. Sorry, Nick.
Oh, Nick. Oh,
Poor Nick.
We love you. We're like thinking. I'm looking.
This
Man,
might be
just like nobody is coming to mind.
What?
might be
There's
slowing it down too much.
no. I'm not worried.
Oh, he can chop some of this
that's
out.
true.
if he
Or
needs
not.
to.
Who knows?
Oh.
Nah, that wasn't good. I'm gonna just say Shredder.
He was almost on my list.
I
but
didn't
he's
think it
not
was
number
him.
1.
I just wasn't sure. Do you have a guess?
I really don't.
Who is
Okay,
it?
so logically, like one of the biggest bads ever, the devil from Constantine.
What?
Yes.
You're going to love this. Because
I almost put him on my list too. And you're like, how did you have a naughty list and didn't put the devil?
The devil on it. Yeah, exactly. How does that not work?
Oh, dang it. Oh, we had a crossover.
yeah, so the symmetry here is pretty
Because we know
pretty
who Will's-
beautiful.
Hold
It's
on.
the Joker.
No.
No.
Who could Will
Who's Azrael?
have been as
Who-
been so annoying?
Who is the man I love to hate?
We all know
And
it's
he was
Azrael.
your number 5.
He
that
was
got
my number
added
5.
live. So and he's
Yes.
Will's number 1.
My number
and
1.
Will's number 5 was your number 1, and I'm sitting out in the cold.
And
me
what's
just go
even
shovel you
funnier,
dry.
everybody, is Pat and I are sitting across from each other.
Yep,
Right.
Yeah, I'm the monkey in the middle.
This is great.
That was pretty well not planned.
Not planned at all.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Not planned at all.
So Azrael.
Azrael
You want to
is
say
my number
anything
1.
about him?
I have said a lot about him. Go back to our Night Quest.
Night Quest.
Night-
yeah,
Yeah,
the
Night
3.
Quest stuff.
3 episodes, 3
Yeah.
different issues.
And listen to my opinion there. If you need any context as to how he could possibly be.
Because
The
he
number
definitely
one on my
gets
naughty
mentioned
list.
in every single issue.
Yes,
we
I'm pretty sure every
publish.
issue he's my least favorite character.
I believe
Pretty
that is
sure
the
it's
case.
true. I believe it is. Wow. Well, my number 1 is also a crossover with somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yes. My number 1 is somebody that I didn't realize that I thought was this awesome. Anybody have a guess?
Somebody you didn't realize you thought was this awesome, and it's
That's
a
a bad-
crossover
that's a
with
bad
one
guy.
of us.
Yep.
Well, it's one of yours.
You think? Hold on, I gotta find my list again.
He's like, now I got to look. What do you think, Will? Do you have a guess? I'm going to try best poker face so I don't give it away. In case Pat has a guess.
Is it Bane?
It is Vane.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, but I'm like, I don't. He said he wasn't gonna do anything from
Well,
Batman, but
well,
no,
I
he
did.
lied.
No. I
yeah.
said I wouldn't pick the Joker or Batman. Those were.
Oh, okay.
Right. Bane is such a good villain.
He
though.
was so good.
He really was.
Like watching him do all of the head work, and then I read some extra stuff later that was about him, and it just reinforces all that stuff, and it's just like
I mean,
yeah. Bane was my number 1 just because seeing him on that level made me really appreciate him being the main villain of the first arc.
yeah. I
Of
mean,
Nightfall.
other than logically, the devil is obviously the worst villain. That's the only reason he's my number 1.
Yeah, I didn't go by logic,
Right.
But right away I was like, oh, Bane has to be on my list.
The rest of them are great just in their own ways.
Yes, or annoying according to Will.
Or yeah,
Right.
So that was our top 5 naughty list.
Right.
So now we are
So,
going.
hold on,
Oh,
listener.
okay.
If you have a top 5 novel list, you should email us so we can take a look at it
Yeah, at Longbox,
and let us know what you think.
guyswithissues.com.
Longbox at guyswithissues.com. All right, go
Yeah.
on. Structure
So-
Steve.
Now we're gonna start at number 5 for our nice list.
All right, so I'm starting this
For
off
our
too.
nice list. Yep, you can start it off.
I don't know if this is going to surprise anybody, but my number 5 is the Blue Beetle.
Oh,
oh,
Yeah.
nice. I'm gonna tell you, the more you read about Jaime, the more you like Jaime.
I like
So that's a great choice.
I like the whole family dynamic because a lot of times it's the loner hero,
That's true.
and the Blue Beetle isn't that way. And
No.
yeah, just
And his family knows.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, which is great.
It's fun.
In my
It adds
opinion.
a really cool dynamic because his parents are like, make sure your schoolwork's done and don't get hurt.
Yeah, so he's my number 5 at this.
I mean,
point.
it's definitely a good break from that usual dynamic of I have to keep my secret from my family, and
Oh, for sure.
so that trope kind of gets old after a while.
yeah,
And so just like having that different interaction of his parents trying to parent a kid who has a supernatural alien spaceship super weapon thing strapped inside of him. And he's just like ready to rock and roll. Anyway,
What's your number 5?
my number 5 is Star-Lord.
Nice.
nice Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I do like his quips and his wit. It resonates well with me. He is almost a bad guy, really.
I would say that. I would say he borderline. You could
He
almost
was
see him
borderline bad
being
guy.
like a rogue.
At least in the first one, where he was convincing Mantis to.
That's what you
Oh.
think.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe he wasn't convincing Mantis.
He didn't convince her
Maybe.
to use mind powers.
Maybe Mantis convinced Star-Lord that
What if it's her?
Star-Lord
Oh.
convinced Mantis
It's
to
a
use
double
mind
play.
powers.
She put the idea in his brain to put the idea in her brain.
Hold on, I
But then
gotta
because she couldn't act, she erased her own memories.
I gotta cross out the devil for number 1 and put Mantis.
Because that is conniving.
That is conniving.
That is a knife.
A lot more conniving than that devil was in Constantine.
Okay, so I wasn't sure how to end I guess end because it's 5. I originally was debating between Splinter or Casey Jones because, again, I didn't want the Ninja Turtles, but I wasn't opposed to mentioning that series. But you know what? I'm going to throw... No, that's going to mess it up. No, we're gonna leave him. We're gonna say Casey Jones. He was interesting.
He was
for-
good.
He was
for
yeah.
a new character, like the way he was introduced
Yeah.
and his plight with having abusive father and becoming friends with Raph and yearning for, where Raph struggles to accept the love of his new brothers, like Casey wishes for something like that of a family. Like he's jealous, like in a good way, of like Splinter's love for Raph. And Casey's a complex character in that first story, like his intro, man. They took him into being something more than just like a dude who wears a hockey mask and beats people up,
And they paired him well with April O'Neil. Because some of those panels, there's the one where he's like, it's like dark and he's standing in front of his mother's grave and she's
with her family.
Yeah, and it's all bright.
Right.
And
No.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like,
That was your favorite scene, I think, for that.
yeah.
I think you mentioned that.
It could have been. I'm
the
not
issue.
even going to pretend to know.
Number 4.
Oh, that's back to me. My number 4 is, I don't know if people are going to consider this low on the list or not, but Spider-Man.
Nice. Like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
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 Well, I knew it wasn't Otto,
No.
but we had a
Spider
lot
Pig?
of spider people,
Spider people.
or according to Nick, Spider-Mans.
The Spider-Mans. Yeah, no, I like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Always have.
He almost made my list too, but again, I had mentioned in our original that he could easily be in my top 3 like at any time, so I held him off. But that was a great choice.
Yeah, love
great
Spider-Man.
choice, Spider-Man.
So I did not follow Chris's rule to not pick any. So my number 4
Sure.
is The Flash.
Nice.
Nice.
I was hoping. The reason
Yes.
I did not share this imposed rule is I didn't want you guys to do it.
Yes.
You guys are too new to this to impose like an arbitrary rule about your list.
And really, it still sort of fits because my love of The Flash was based off of like more of shows like the Justice League Unlimited, the little bit of the CW that I watched, but reading the comics just like that was really cool. The Flashpoint,
Oh yeah,
that was a good series
that we need to revisit.
that we need
We
to.
do.
That's one we need to go back to. It'd be fun.
No.
Good choice.
Yes.
I was hoping. I expected Flash to make your list, but I wasn't going to assume. So, my number 4 is somebody that I gushed about in the issue.
That's a whole other
Was it
list
the Green
itself.
Lantern?
The list that Chris gushes about.
Yeah,
is-
yeah. It's longer. It's longer than you think it is. I'm pretty sure Sierra can back me up on
Oh
this.
shoot! It's Mara.
Oh, yeah.
I chose Mara.
Oh,
Mara's
I was
good.
like, and so I debated putting Aquaman on the list.
Right.
But I was like, I'm going to limit myself to only one hero from this, and I'm going to call out Mara because she is such a standout character.
She is actually
She's
really
so
good. character, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and she's
agree.
one of my favorite comic ladies. Like
She's
she's
wonderful.
up there with Gwen Stacy for me, which that's my wife would immediately know that's saying that's a compliment to a fictional character. So number 3, what you got, Pat?
Number 3. I'm going with Constantine.
Ooh,
John Constantine.
John Constantine.
Oh, he's just I don't know if it's his character per se or just how much I enjoyed the story, but he had to be on my list. And it was
Nice.
just it was so good. I really want to get back into.
I love
some
how
more
different we
Constantine.
are, like all 3 of us in different aspects. Because,
No,
like, I
well-
knew right away I wasn't gonna put the Constantine on my. I thought about putting him on my villain list.
That would have worked too. He isn't the
He
greatest
is-
of guys.
He is definitely. I don't know if I'd call him an anti-hero,
right.
but no, that's a great pick.
I really feel like he tries to do the best that he can do, and he just makes bad decisions
Yeah.
sometimes.
He's just a dude.
Yeah, he's just a dude, and
Just a
I
dude.
just liked it.
You gotta respect that a little bit.
Right.
What about you?
So my number 3.
If you say
is
Constantine, I'm gonna go crazy.
I'm changing mine then.
the Blue Beetle.
Oh, nice.
Jaime made your list too.
Yep.
Will and I are the same wavelength.
Wow, I am so left out.
I
Anyway,
know.
Well, you're in left
Anyway,
field for me.
Yeah, we already talked
what made
about it.
him? What got him on your list though?
What got? I particularly loved the Obviously, Pat already mentioned the
Family
we talked
thing
about
and
a little bit, but when he goes to the other planet to save the girl through the mother box,
Yeah.
and he talks to the guy, I almost made the guy with the horse, but then I couldn't remember his name.
The guy with the horse was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that new god's name is. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't even. But I'm like, that whole sequence was pretty
And
funny.
it's like, space is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good choice. Jaime, 2 lists. Wow. My number 3 is a crossover. Star-Lord.
Oh,
Yes. Star-Lord.
Yeah, Star-Lord. Had to pick him. Same reasons Will said. It's just that persona, man. When he is snarky, it is just fun. And he, like when he walks up naked and he's like, "Hey guys,
He's got the helmet on him. Yeah.
like it's so silly. But I love his character, and I think they translated that persona well in the film. He's more of a goofball in the film. Like he's brilliant almost in the comics. But no, it was good. It was good. Star-Lord was my number 3. So number 2.
Okay. So my number 2. If you guys think it's a bit of a cop out, then I will actually choose one of them. But I was going to say the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nope, that's absolutely fine.
I like all of them.
I-
They're all amazing.
That is.
But everybody knows who I would pick if I
You'd
had
pick
to choose.
Rocket.
Exactly.
I expected your number 1 or 2 to be Rocket.
That's so funny. We're both like, yeah, it's Rocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the whole group, their whole dynamic, just everything. It's wonderful.
I debated. I even thought about like I think Mantis is a really interesting character,
Oh, yeah.
and like I thought about Rocket, and so I almost wish I would have considered just saying the group because it's true. They're all worth being on the list.
Right.
They are.
So
Even
I guess
Bug.
So I guess that's a crossover for all 3 of us.
All 3 of us. We did a full 3-way crossover. Cool. That's fun.
Yeah. We're up
What
to
was
number
your
2.
number 2?
Number
Yeah.
2.
Number
Will.
2 is
Asriel. No.
That would be a plot twist, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
But instead, my number 2 is John Constantine.
Nice. Will and I.
You guys, that's it. I'm leaving you 2 alone. You guys can have alone time. I'm just
We'll
gonna
play
walk
some
out
video
the door
games. It's
and
fun.
let you guys have your bro time. Obviously, I'm not jiving with everybody.
Yes. We did not collaborate on these lists. We did not talk about the lists. They were individually created, and then we brought them all together to read them. And it just so happens Pat and I are just vibing.
It's good to know what you guys have enjoyed. So, what made him get on your list then? Like, what about what made him stand out to get number 2?
I don't know. Yeah,
Sorry. Keep going.
yeah.
You'll know what I'm
Tongue-tied.
laughing about later.
Or will I?
You will. You really will. Go on.
Okay. Oh, he's quick and clever, personality wise. He's just a fun guy to read about, and I definitely want to read more John Constantine. So
That's a good reason. I right now I'm genuinely debating switching my number 1 and 2 to know if there's I don't think there's a chance, but it would be amazing if we had the same number 1. But I don't know if it's possible. Anyway, I'm gonna say my number 2 is Blue Beetle. Another 3-way crossover. I read on to finish almost the entire series. I think there's 36 issues. I think I'm on like 30, 31.
Yeah.
25 is really the climax for where we started. Like you can read 1 to 25 and end there. The stuff that comes after is still good, but 25 is where like the plot with the Reach, like you've learned all about the Beatles, what they're doing, what the plot is about the Earth, like all this stuff. Jaime gets better with every single issue. There is a depth to his character that is kind of like a Peter Parker, where the gravitas of the responsibility weighs on him very heavily. And he takes it very, very seriously. And you guys should really, we need, whether it's on the podcast or off of it, you guys have to read more. His character is so good. and that's why he made my list.
I'm planning to read more.
It is. I kept reading and going, oh my gosh, if we were to read this whole like 25 issue arc, we would have all just been raving the whole time. We would have been gushing about it the whole time. It's that good. The writing is that good.
Wow.
So,
You hear that, Colton?
the start, I have messaged him to tell him
Oh,
about
good,
it.
good.
The start was rough. It was. But the full effect, even things that come back to play in the beginning, so good. Jaime is such a good character. He may, if I continue to read various Blue Beetle, I could see him climbing into like my top 10.
Wow.
Maybe
That's
top 5.
impressive.
Like he is
Scuttling.
his
Scuttling his way into my top 10.
But no,
He's the Blue
excellent.
Beetle.
Excellent. So, number one hero.
Okay, so everybody's going to know why I was laughing. Because my number one is the Flash.
Because it's reversed. Dang it.
Yes.
No, I knew my number one wouldn't be on anybody's list.
No, it's the Flash. And I think out of everything that we've read at this point, that was top 1 or 2.
Yeah, for you, like even
For
like
me.
of anything that we've said, this is a 5.
Yeah.
Like this is good
Like
stuff.
it's between that and Guardians of the Galaxy
Mm.
for me. And,
Wow.
and
That
that
is-
Flash might be
He's run his way straight into your
a
heart.
little better.
Nice. I do like Flash a lot. I used to read him even as a young kid. Some of my first comics
youngin'.
were Flash.
Anyway, my number one is Bruce Wayne.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know if we read, because we've read a lot of Batman, but like his character just stood out amongst, a very starkly contrast with, the other garbage Batman. But,
I just couldn't put Batman on my list
I easily could,
because
because I did.
Well, I know you did. Because we saw him like at his weakest in the beginning, and then we didn't see that much of him at the end.
That's not
it's-
true. Knight's End,
No.
you have him like retraining and fighting all those masters and
So
trying
he was
to get
getting back up to peak.
and then he gives a
that was still
whooping to a
cool.
lunatic.
I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. You guys can argue with me all you want, but,
then
it's
there was-
my list.
There was a whole thing with him on the island,
Yeah.
and then the doctor. It's not
Kinsolving.
Shauna. Kinsolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chandra.
Couldn't do it.
Chandra. I was going to say Shauna, and I'm like, that's not right.
Okay. Well, listen, my number 1 and 2 could have been switched easily. Both of these characters, 1 and 2. But somebody has to love this guy because DC won't. Tim Drake.
Of course, it's Tim Drake.
I do it.
I wasn't. I even debated putting him on because I've said that he's a character.
If we would have guessed the first one again, I probably would have
But
guessed Tim Drake.
I
Oh, we didn't do it. We just said
Yeah,
it around
no.
that thing.
I
But
almost made him my number 5, and in parenthesis, but like I didn't say that right. Because I know Chris is gonna put him on his list, so I'm gonna do this too.
no, I had Blue Beetle as one at one point, and I kind of turned either one. I think they're both good characters. I think that his part in Nightfall was interesting. I would love to go back and read like his whole series one day, and I still but that's a little unfair for me to pick him for number 1. I think because it kind of breaks
not really.
bends my rule just a hair because I've
That's all
always
right.
liked him. But no, somebody's got to love Tim.
That's right.
Somebody has to love original Tim Drake we've all known and love our whole life. My whole life.
Sure.
Because I've been reading him for a while. So that was fun. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Any honorable mentions? But I think Nightwing would be like if I were to give an honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
I
for
really
sure.
liked him in that Knight's End.
Bruce Wayne as Batman would be on my honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions would obviously have Batman. I debated whether Catwoman could be on the good or bad guy list
Yes.
because technically she did heroic things in her story arcs in
she
the
could-
Night Quest.
I think
stuff.
she could be in either.
So, and that's why Batman has such a hard time with her.
Because it's like,
Because he's like, you could be good because you're good deep down,
But
but
she's
you're
that,
so
like-
bad.
she's that philosophical, like, do the means justify the ends kind of discussion.
Right.
Well, that, and she also is a thief that steals whatever she wants when she really does something.
For, like, the environment.
No,
or-
no.
No,
She
not
is a
always.
bad guy
She
sometimes. That's
I
what
mean-
puts them at odds. And then, but she's also skilled enough that she gives him the slip, like legitimately. Maybe it's the eyes, maybe it's the look she gives him, and he's like, "Oh, dang it! Oh, there, grapple!"
I mean, to be more honest, she does wear a leather suit.
We had that discussion.
Did we?
Yes. See if you just
No.
listen to the podcast. Yeah, Patrick was an after credit scene talking about we're not this is a Christmas episode. I'm not
Yes, this is a Christmas episode.
No, I felt like honorable mentions. I mean, I almost put Aquaman, like I said, The Flash almost made my list. But again, that was one that I withheld intentionally because I was like, no, The Flash has always been a character I liked. Literally some of my oldest comics were Flash, so I didn't put him on my list.
Aquaman, definitely honorable mention on mine.
Oh,
too.
for
He's-
sure, man.
He's such a good character.
Alfred's role, we talked about.
Ooh, I almost put Alfred down in mine.
Yeah,
Alfred would have been good too.
like he was a good honorable mention.
Yeah.
There have been some really, really neat, really good characters. I'm almost surprised that you didn't mention Shazam from when we read the comic because you thought the comic was decent.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, we really have had a lot of really neat characters so far, and we're halfway through our first year.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. It's cool.
Let's go.
And
Let's go.
it's been a very interesting 6 months. We're trying to decide a lot of stuff right now, how we're
Right.
doing our
Structure
next 6 months.
Steve is working on
Yeah.
a restructuring.
But
Oh, it's like they did like the new 72,
Right.
New 52.
new 52, whatever. I can't do numbers. I knew it had a 2 in it, but
But what structure is
Yeah,
that?
well, that's-
am I trying to flashpoint our?
yeah, we're
I'm trying to
here pretty
flashpoint the
soon. We're gonna have
podcast.
a flashpoint in the podcast. And it's, Structure Steve is gonna be like gonna have a new name or something.
Just a new suit.
Look.
Just gonna look different.
We're not changing the name to Guys with Flashpoints.
That's it. Instead of canon events, we're just gonna anything that changes the podcast. We're gonna call it a flashpoint.
Flashpoint. Yeah, I like that.
So next week we will have another special. It's going to be our New Year's special, right? That's
Right.
what we talked about. So even though the podcast hasn't been out for a year, the year is coming to an end, the calendar year.
Right.
And so we have plans for how we want to move forward with next year. Some ideas we have that we want to share with everybody. So next week you can look forward to hearing some of what might be coming up and some of things that I don't know. We'll see. We haven't planned it all out yet. Not
Right.
totally, but
We're still working on it.
but there are some things we want to share with every single listener because every one listener. So yeah, tune in next week for the New Year's special, I suppose, right? Anything else you guys want to say while you're in the Christmas spirit? Cookies?
Bah humbug.
Bah.
That's my line.
I just like that the
I
two
got
of
to it
you,
first.
You
you're like
did.
Scrooge and the Grinch, and I'm like Elf from the movie Elf. I'm like, it's Christmas! I love you, I love you, I love you! And the sad thing is that our personas are probably, that's about how we are as people.
So,
All I can
Will,
think about is that elevator button thing.
are you the Grinch or Mr. Scrooge?
I mean, I'll be the Grinch.
Okay.
My niece loves the Grinch.
All right. I will make. I can't think of his name right now.
I mean, it makes more sense. You
Who?
are the
Ebenezer?
manager.
And no, who's his employee?
Bob Cratchit.
That's it. I'll make Bob Cratchit's life horrible for a while, and then I'll give him a big turn.
Alex, run!
I was gonna say it makes more sense now for
Because
you
you're
to
a
be
manager.
Scrooge.
That's funny.
You're not getting anything for Christmas. That's hilarious.
Anyway,
But
yeah,
okay.
that works.
Well,
Well,
Nope.
I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
and I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues. Christmas special.
It's Christmas time
Christmas time.
again.
Celine Dion, we are not.
You can catch the new issue of Guys with Issues each week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Or check out our website at guyswithissues.com where you can listen, find reading lists to follow along, and get to know us better.
Send us emails to longbox@guyswithissues.com and tell us your thoughts. Send us suggestions on what we should read next. We would love to hear from our listener.
Oh,
Celine Dion.
I like Baby It's Cold Outside. We should have said our favorite Christmas songs.
Too late now.
Dang it.
White Christmas.
I do like
That is my favorite Christmas
Oh.
song.
Boom.
Me too, I mean.
There.
Boom.
Dang it.